What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler, and we are back for another video in our Pirates of the Caribbean community series, a community series that airs on our channel every other Friday, where we talk about all things Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, we've been on a bit of a rant recently, talking about the future Pirates of the Caribbean, talking about the Disney Plus streaming service, talking about basically Disney pushing aside Pirates of the Caribbean. We want to follow up 2 weeks ago's video, where basically Tyler and I both went on a rant talking about Pirates and talking about, why this is just craziness of Disney and what they're doing with it, and why we believe that ultimately Johnny Depp is once again and kind of has always been the problem here. And it can be because of money, it can be because of the trouble he gets them into, whether or not, the Amber Heard stuff, ignoring that or not. It seems to be using all of the logic, and we'll go over the stuff we talked about in 2 weeks ago's video, but definitely check that out if you guys missed it. All the stuff we talked about, it kind of just leaves one factor left for why Pirates doesn't continue, and it's Johnny Depp. So, Tyler, what do you think about all that? Why do you believe that Johnny Depp ultimately is the thing holding Pirates back?
Well, I think the biggest factor, honestly, I feel like Disney kind of feels like Johnny Depp is now sort of like outdated. Like, he doesn't really bring the attraction like he used to. He doesn't bring in the money like he used to. Because don't forget, it's all about money. Nothing's fan service. They don't care. It's all about how much money can we make. That's what it is. And they do a lot of projections. And when the projections are wrong, that's usually when you see that they don't get sequels. Or they just kill it because they were so wrong on the projections because they didn't read the audience that well. And they thought that they could get away with a sequel sometimes, and they couldn't. Because it's always about money. So I thought, okay, well, maybe Johnny Depp doesn't bring in the money like he used to. Maybe they feel like he's a declining actor, so people just don't care anymore. Maybe they also feel like, well, Pirates really isn't a thing anymore, but was it really ever? They're the ones that made it a thing. So there's that. But then I'm like, let's look up what the Fantastic Beasts, the Harry Potter spinoff, Fantastic Beasts, let's see what they made at the box office, or in general, like worldwide. So the first Fantastic Beasts movie made and this did not have Johnny Depp in it, made $812.5 million. Well, actually, Johnny Depp was in it, but only literally at the end for approximately 1.2 seconds. So $812.5 million was made. It also, it was reviewed well, but not like amazing. People were hoping that there was going to be more from it. So then I looked up, let's see what the Crimes of Grindelwald made. Let's see what the Crimes of Griswold made. So looking that up, and this movie had Johnny Depp quite a bit in it. And I honestly think he did well myself. I've seen him, out of all the characters he's played, it was kind of, middle of the road. He did well, but I just don't think there was anything really there. And that's not his fault, that's the script. But anyways, the sequel to Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, made $653.7 million. So the sequel with Johnny Depp made $158.8 million less. That's quite a drop. Now, again, is it only because of Johnny Depp? No, it's because the first movie people were hoping would be better. So it's Johnny Depp, sort of, maybe, and they thought it would be a little bit better, so they're probably not going to... when you go see a movie and you didn't like it, you're likely not going to see the next one. Just like I will not see Captain Marvel 2. So there's that. So that's probably one of the reasons, though. And that Disney... Warner Brothers is a very large movie production company. And Disney's going to recognize... They're going to look at these numbers. And they're going to say, well, you know what? Yes, did Fantastic Beasts do that well the first time? Well, it did average, but it was above average. And then the next movie comes out, and Johnny Depp's predominantly in it. He was in all of the commercials and all of those things, the trailers, everything, the posters, all of that. Johnny Depp was the main attraction, in my opinion, to The Crimes of Grindelwald, and it made almost $159 million less. So that's a lot. And then you take a look at Pirates of the Caribbean, and it made a ton of money. It made $800 million. Dead Men Tell No Tales, the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie to come out. But then when comparing how much On Stranger Tides made, Dead Men Tell No Tales made $200 million, give or take, $200 million less. So it's kind of like, okay, well, our own Pirates of the Caribbean movie went down $200 million. We made $200 million less. Another totally separate Warner Brothers made a Harry Potter movie, which Harry Potter is huge, much bigger than Pirates of the Caribbean worldwide. I mean, it's big. Pirates of the Caribbean made $200 million less, and Warner Brothers Harry Potter made $158 million less. And it's kind of like, okay, well, there's a theme. We're losing between $150 million and $200 million, no matter how you look at it, because it's kind of like every time he's in something, the movie tends to drop. So, and again, everything revolves around money. So I really think that's the biggest reason that they have an issue. And obviously, okay, we know the whole scandal that he beat up his wife, and then he didn't beat up his wife, and James Gunn said terrible things. He still said terrible things, but he's rehired. Johnny Depp's not rehired, even though he didn't do what they were accusing him of doing. It was actually his wife that beat him up. So, I know you have all of that, but you have all of that surrounding James Gunn, and James Gunn's rehired. So it's kind of like, okay, so what's the issue? So I don't know. It's got to be that they feel that Johnny Depp's a declining actor. He doesn't bring in the money. In fact, he brings in less money. Maybe. Again, it could be other elements, but you got to look at it, though. And you also have to look at this. Don't forget. Maybe people just didn't like how they saw Jack Sparrow in the trailers. Maybe they just didn't think he didn't act like he used to act. He acted too stupid. And if you go back in our history, I was even saying I was nervous, and Alex was nervous. I was nervous that because he was acting a little strange, and I was like, I hope he's not like this for the whole movie. So people probably saw that, and they're like, you know what? This isn't exactly the Jack Sparrow I really want to see, so they didn't go. Is that Johnny Depp's fault? No. That's the script. But at the end of the day, the blame falls on Johnny Depp, even if it's not his fault. So I think we have our answer, and the reason that they really don't want to continue with Pirates of the Caribbean, obviously, if you watch the last video, they don't care. But one of the other reasons is they might feel like right now, it's we can still use Jack Sparrow, we can still use Johnny Depp, but he's just not going to bring in the money. So, and if we bring somebody else in, it might cause problems because some of the fans feel like Jack Sparrow's the only thing, and Jack Sparrow makes Pirates of the Caribbean, so we'll have to deal with all that. So it's better, let's just wait. Or let's just not do it. So I feel like that's just what's kind of going on. I still stand by everything I said in the last video. If you're not going to do it, and you're not going to do a Disney Plus show, and the entire thing, and the rides, and everything that has Pirates of the Caribbean's name on it, end it. All of it. Or suck it up. Either do another movie with Johnny Depp, or don't. If you don't, do a reboot. If you don't want to do a reboot, do a continuation with the characters that you started in 5, Henry and Karina. And if it doesn't do well, I wouldn't blame you for ending it. I wouldn't. But you got to at least try. You have to. There's too many fans. There's a lot of money to be made because it's all about money. There's a lot of money that they could do or make. In my opinion, I'm at the point where it's like, get the guy, I can't never say his name, Tahiti or whatever, tahini, I think that's a Mediterranean sauce. Get the guy who made Thor Ragnarok, pay him a lot of money, and say, we need you to make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Is it the last movie? We don't care. Make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, please. We'll do anything for you. And honestly, Pirates of the Caribbean would be back and better than ever before. Whether it's Jack Sparrow or not, people would love it because the guy knows how to make movies. He just does. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Like, get somebody to bring life into this movie. Continue it. If you're not going to do it, end it. End it. So, I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, when it comes to Johnny Depp, I feel like they're in a dilemma that is a mix of every single thing that we've said on the channel from the start, right? I think it's Johnny Depp, like Tyler said, being an out-of-date actor, a actor who's getting older, an actor who has maybe been miscast his entire career as this guy who does bring in money and should be like the number one thing that you focus on, when really he does work his best when there's a lot of things around him. I mean, yeah, Jack Sparrow, and we've talked about it, is Jack Sparrow even the main character of Pirates of the Caribbean? I mean, screen time wise, he probably gets the most time on the screen, but he, I feel like he is, like Tyler has always said, kind of a supporting-ish character, and I think that's what makes it good. The movie that had Jack Sparrow in it the most was 4, and while I actually thought he was maybe one of the best renditions of himself in 4, it still hurt because I think you just can't follow that character for too long. So again, and I think that's a problem with Johnny Depp's career throughout his entire career. I think he's been miscast as that guy who's supposed to bring in all of that money, and then when he suddenly doesn't, then people blame him. Like Tyler said, I mean, Fantastic Beasts, I think there was a ton of problems with the second movie. I think a lot of people had problems with the second movie. I honestly don't think Johnny Depp was any problem with the second movie, and that's just my opinion. I didn't find a problem with him, but maybe some did. And again, he's in it though, and he wasn't in the first one. People will blame that. And you can say that's unfair, but like Tyler said, it's the money. It's all about the money. The movie made less. It doesn't matter at all if it was Johnny Depp's fault. The fact of the matter is, he gets put under the bus for all of these things. He gets put under the bus for the lack of Pirates of the Caribbean success. He gets put under the bus for all of these movies, not performing well. So I feel like you have that. And in terms of Disney, not going forward with things, I feel like it's kind of like what Tyler said. They're in a tough spot where he's still in his, he still isn't in the age where he can still do it. He can still be Jack Sparrow. We know that. Jack Sparrow has never really gotten a true conclusion. We know that. They can still do it. At the same time, do they want to go through the headaches of Johnny Depp? Do they want to pay him? And don't forget, he makes like $70 million, $75 million a movie from Pirates of the Caribbean. That is an insane amount of money. That's one of the highest salaries that actors have going into movies. So they're paying him almost $100 million just to star in the movie. And if you make $800 million, he's making $100 million himself. That's a problem. If you eliminate him, you're saving 1/8 of your revenue. So that's something to think about. He gets hurt, right? He has problems. He hurt his wrist or he hurt his hand in Pirates 5's filming. They had to delay it for 2 months. That's a big deal for a high production movie. So maybe they just don't want to deal with that. But at the same time, then you have all these fans talking about how they need him. And Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow is just such a huge figure. He's still in the rides. There's merchandise. People dress up as him for Halloween. He's still such a big figure that it's like, well, we know people really want him, but we just can't. And I feel like they're stuck right there. They maybe want to use him, but they don't want to pay him. They don't want to go through the headaches, but they don't not want to use him because they know people will have a revolt. And so they end up going on the remake or the reboot of the franchise, and they're taking forever with that. They keep firing people. They keep hiring different people to pull it off. And I feel like with that, they're just thinking, you know what? I don't know. Should we make this reboot? Should we do it? Let's take our time with it because we need to do it right. So they've put themselves in quite the corner, and Johnny Depp has put them in quite the corner. Whether or not it's his fault or not is debatable, but I feel like that's where it is because like Tyler and I were saying, the whole TV show thing needs to freaking happen. Like, that needs to be a thing that happens. Is Jerry Bruckheimer holding it back? He's always said he doesn't want it to be a TV show. If he's the problem, get him out of there. I don't care that he's produced them. I don't care that it's basically his vision, these 5 movies. That's great. He did his time. He made it what it is. Johnny Depp made it what it is. Give them both the applause they deserve. Get out of the way, though, to make more. We got to continue this franchise, right? So if Jerry Bruckheimer's doing it, is in the way, get him out. But a TV show seems to be just so easy and so obvious with this Disney Plus thing. And I hope we get that announcement at the D23 this summer. I hope they say we're making a Pirates TV show. That's all I want. That's all if they come out of it just saying that, that's completely fine. But I feel like they've really just put themselves in the corner with not not knowing what they need to do because of just all these external factors, some things that they've done themselves, Disney, with the mishandling of the situation, Johnny Depp, Jerry Bruckheimer, all of these things, but they need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out quickly because they have potential here. They have the possibility to make future things, future mediums of this franchise in TV shows, in movies, and they seem to be just so easy, and they just don't do it. So it's really, really confusing. And guys, one of the main things that brings us together, obviously, for these kinds of videos is our love for Pirates of the Caribbean. So in the description box below, we have a link to Fandango now. If you guys click on that link and you go through and you buy or rent anything using that link, it helps support the channel. We'd very much appreciate it. You can use it to rent or buy any of the past Pirates of the Caribbean movies or any movie or TV show in general. You can link up your Fandango account as well, so you can earn points using Fandango and redeem them so you guys can buy and rent Pirates of the Caribbean movies for absolutely free. So if you guys want to do that, the link is in the description below. Again, it would really help us out if you did that. And of course, we want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you think about all this? Are you excited for D23? Do you think that we're going to get any announcement there? We'll be covering Pirates of the Caribbean a little bit longer, maybe up until then, and we'll see what happens there. And then we'll be talking to you guys about the future of this community series. But until then, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell icon, because we're going to have videos still every other week leading into the summer. We will update you guys when things start to change. So thank you, as always. Really appreciate your guys' support, and we will see you on the next video.